The big AliExpress 11/11 sale is finally here, and there's no better time to grab some amazing deals. If you've ever owned a watch from brands like San Martin or Watchdives, then you already know the crazy value they offer. Many of their watches are original designs, while others reimagine classic styles with their own twist. Today we're taking a look at 12 of my favorite AliExpress watches that are absolutely worth checking out. We might as well start with what many people, and myself included, consider to be the best affordable everyday Gata you could buy, the SN0144 from San Martin. Out of all the watches in the brand's catalog, I don't think there is a better example of the details and finishing they pack into their watches. All the dial options are incredible, the attention to details on the polishing and brushing throughout the case and bracelet is next level, and it's got all the best specs that makes a great watch. Aside from its good looks, the dimensions are another big standout, and the best part is you have options, 36, 39, or 42mm case size. One detail I do want to highlight is the watch uses male end links, so it will wear just a tiny bit larger because of that, so do keep that in mind. I've owned the 39mm and it does wear really amazing, but for a slightly dressy Gata, I think it wears a tiny bit larger than what I like, so the 36 is what I have my eyes on, but don't let that deter you. If you do like larger watches, get the 42 and it will have awesome wrist presence. The thickness is also perfect at just 10mm, which is crazy being that this is an automatic. But it is a 9015, a lot thinner than the common NH35 that powers a lot of the Ali automatics. The rest of the specs are solid. The unique steel bracelet has a toolless micro-adjustable clasp, so you can get the perfect fit any time of day. It has a sapphire crystal on top with an AR coating and 100 meters of WR. The close-ups really showcase what San Martin is all about and why they are the best of the best. In addition to the size options, there's also a lot of colors to choose from, including a few fun, vibrant textured gradient dials, along with some mother-of-pearl dials that are really striking. After the sale price and discount code, the price comes to $276. Out of all the Ali watch brands, my favorite in that $50 price range has to be Addiesdive. They have a huge collection of different watches, and their latest edition is hands down one of my absolute favorites. The 802517 has the classic old-school chronograph design, and somehow it still feels fresh. Perhaps it's the cursive logo or the overall layout of the subdials. This model comes in two flavors, black and white. I definitely like both and find each offers something special. The black has a great combination of gray and blacks, and the white has that timeless panda dial. You really can't go wrong with either. Powering the little engine is a super accurate and convenient VK63 Mecha Quartz movement, which I've always found to be durable and a great timekeeper. One detail that can be frustrating about regular quartz movements is the second hand not lighting up with each marker, but with these type of movements you get that sweeping hand motion like an auto, but no need to wind it or deal with spotty accuracy. The case has a nice mix of brushed and polished sections, along with chamfering along the lugs and drilled lug holes. Lots of great details, including a signed crown, domed crystal, and ceramic bezel insert, helping to stop those unwanted scratches. Naturally, chronographs can wear a little larger because of the pushers, so I think the 37 by 12.7 by 46 size is right in that sweet spot. It will have nice wrist presence while still wearing comfortably. For $59, this is an insane value-packed watch. Although I don't use my GMT functions very often, it's still nice to have that type of style and functionality. One of my favorites is the SEESTERN Titanium GMT diver. It comes in blue or black and features some fun play of colors to kick up the design a bit. There's some white and orange to add some spice. This watch looks like a straight up tool watch. Some accenting polishing on the chamfering lugs and sides of the bracelet, but the rest is brushed, keeping it casual and sporty. A great daily driver, and the specs are stacked. Tons of super bright lume on the bezel, dial, and hands, big blocks of 3D hour markers, a full titanium construction on the case and bracelet, as well as the NH34 automatic movement to power it all, and you could track a second time zone. The up-close details look incredible, showing off solid machine work, lovely angles, nice cuts, and fine micro brushing throughout. This is another perfectly sized watch with a 39mm diameter and just 12mm in thickness. Seestern is part of Sugess, another brand who makes amazing watches, so you know the quality is there. I'm a huge fan of robust, durable, built like a tank dive watches, and all the details packed into this one makes it a definite standout among divers. I am a sucker for a black colorway and really like how they kept everything matte, both on the dial and bezel insert. Goes really well with the mostly brushed finish on the case and bracelet. All in, the watch is priced at $239. One of the most under-the-radar Ali brands is Merkur, and surprisingly, they don't get the recognition that I think they deserve. Their World Time is super cool, has a bit of an industrial tool watch look, and fun to use. The second crown on the left side operates an internal rotating disc, kind of like a compressor dive watch. This model comes in a ton of different colors and layouts, all add their own unique charm to the watch. It comes equipped on that familiar pebbled leather strap, a great fit for this style of watch. It is powered by a manual wound mechanical movement. There's definitely a lot going on with the dial, but it all plays well together. This watch doesn't look like most other watches, and that's a big part of its appeal. There's nothing flashy or shiny anywhere, and that really helps fuel the sporty tool watch design. It's priced at $109. Another newer release from San Martin is the SN0134, a super stylish, vintage-inspired GMT dive watch that's packed with a ton of character. You could get this one in either green, brown, or purple, as well as a steel Jubilee-style bracelet or suede leather strap. There's just something super cool about this design, taking the classic dive watch format and using a variety of premium materials and finishing. To start, the sandwich dial adds a lot of depth, and the added textured grainy finish takes it all to another level. Perhaps, though, the biggest standout detail is that bezel insert, which is made of sapphire, so it gives it a lot of scratch resistant and just looks like a more expensive watch. The bezel is also filled with generous amounts of lume, so it shines bright and green along with the dial and hands. A really sweet detail. The 40mm case has nice contrasting between its polished and brushed sections, creating a lot of dimension and separation from each part of the watch. It also has a thickness of 13.5 and 48.7 from lug to lug. It has a bump up in water resistance, being that it is a dive watch, so it's rated for 200 meters. Inside powering it all is a Japanese NH34 automatic GMT movement, so you could track a second time zone. What really stands out about this design is how a lot of the details give off a rugged tool watch appearance, and the dial adds nice elegance to balance everything out. I think you are seeing a bit of a trend here about San Martin that they don't mess around with their machine work, and the micro details are super impressive. This one comes to $215. One of the things that really drew me into watch collecting many years ago were the really fascinating, intricate movements. It's all really fascinating, and one of my favorites is a jumping hour. The hour is displayed in a separate window below the 12, the minute is displayed with the hands rotating around the dial, and the seconds shown in the subdial above the 6. It looks cool and fun to watch. Milifortic nailed their design of a jump hour, and I like how it's packaged in a sporty, everyday style case. The crown is slightly oversized, adding its own touch of detail, and the case showcases brushing and polishing that creates a lot of great visual appeal. You have the choice of a black, green, or silver dial, so if you want something a bit more versatile and classic, go with black or silver, or if you prefer a more vibrant, unique look, the green is the one for you. This watch also has a really great size at 41 if you include the crown, but it still maintains a nice slim profile at just 11mm in thickness. What's definitely crazy is even at this price point, you're getting an automatic jumping hour movement, brought to you by Seagull, one of the largest manufacturers of watch movements. The crystal is made of sapphire and includes an anti-reflective coating, so legibility will be nice and clear. It also has 100 meters of water resistance, which does help make it a great daily watch. There's a simplicity about the design that's really enjoyable. For $106, this is a great opportunity to own a jumping hour watch without a big premium price. This next watch is definitely another perfect everyday gata with its classic three-hand layout and great looks, but elevated to the next level thanks to the enamel dial. The SN0053 comes in two dial options, one with a cool textured gradient dial and the other with a sunburst effect. Each look amazing and gives the watch a different personality. I really like the mix of the circular hour markers paired with the arrow-shaped hands. The watch has a bit of that dive watch look, but more refined and a little bit dressed up with the fixed brush bezel and Jubilee-style bracelet. There's also a variety of really stylish colors like purple, blue, and black. A quick run through on the specs. Powering the engine is the tried and tested NH35 auto movement. The case comes in at 39 in diameter, 12.25 mil in thickness, and the total length is 48.5. A great size for an everyday watch and a lot of wrists. As expected with San Martin, the protection is solid from both scratches and water, with the sapphire crystal on top and 100 meters of WR. It also features the brand's on-the-fly micro-adjustable clasp, which is always a welcome feature on any watch. I like how there's matching contrasting brushing and polishing on the case and bracelet, creating a cool, cohesive design. There's also polished chamfering along the lugs, which I always think adds a nice premium touch of detail. This is somewhat of a newer release from SM, and it's definitely one of my favorites. The price all in comes to just $212. We have one more jumping hour watch to look at that has a totally different vibe from Pierre Paulin. This watch is packed with a ton of amazing details and very old school inspired design. Every section of the dial features a different texture and finish, creating a lot of cool visual pop and great legibility. There's also a ton of colors to choose from, which is always nice. This watch is also powered by the Seagull ST17 automatic jumping hour movement. There's a domed crystal on top and nice wearable dimensions. A diameter of 38, thickness of 12.5, and total length at 47. This watch is really stunning and definitely doesn't look like a $100 watch. The detailing, finishing, and overall execution is better than any big name brands anywhere near this price point. All in, it comes to just $97. I'm a huge fan of Pilot chronographs and love the look and functionality they offer. Sugess absolutely crushed it with their rendition, and the 3 colorways it comes in are all stunners. There's a classic steel and black or blue, along with a rose gold case that pairs beautifully with the blue. I like everything about this design, and all the details really make it stand out. The case has the right balance of brushing and polishing. The rotating timing bezel with the coin edge looks sweet, and the dial with those numerals and subdials brings it all together. There's plenty of lume and a hand-wound mechanical seagull movement powering the engine, which features a swan neck for better performance. Mechanical chronos can often be a bit large, so it's a pleasant surprise this watch is only 11.5 millimeters in thickness. It will wear great on the wrist and look fantastic. The rest of the build quality is solid. A sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel insert, 50 meters of WR. What's really cool is the bezel is bidirectional as opposed to uni like on dive watches, so it's a bit easier to use. There's also a sapphire crystal display case back, so you can see that movement in action and the swan neck. This just might be the best mechanical chronograph under $200 you could buy, which comes to $186. One of the most recent San Martin releases might just be their most exciting because this watch is an absolute stunner. The SN0148 takes a few of their popular designs and combines them to make something quite special. From the gradient sunburst textured dial to the arrow-shaped hands and detailing around the bezel, this watch has it all, and packed with all the latest and greatest from SM. It does seem like they like to save their best watches for the Miyota automatic movement, which is the case for this piece, keeping the thickness to just 11.4 mil. The diameter is 37.5, which I absolutely love, even on my 7-inch wrist. But like the SN0144 we looked at, this one also has mil end links, so it will wear a tad bit bigger. Along with the 46 mil lug-to-lug distance, the dimensions are right in that sweet spot. The dial is enamel, the execution is flawless, and the gradient effect darkening towards the edges not only blends it nicely with the color match bezel, but helps balance the colorways out. Anyone who's interested in this watch will likely have a tough time choosing between the green, blue, and black dials because they're all really great looking. Aside from its build quality and just overall craftsmanship, San Martin does a really sweet job with their color choices. Even their vibrant watches have just the right shade, so they have a ton of personality without standing out in a bad way. For those of you who like bright lume, this watch won't disappoint, thanks to the BGW X1 that shines in blue. Equipped is the super comfy Jubilee style steel bracelet with the on-the-fly micro-adjustable clasp. The price is $321, and although on the higher end of SM's watches, it's as value-packed as them all. In the $100 price range, there's no better option than any of the watches from Watchdives. I've owned many of their watches and still do, one of which is their version of a Tudor design. They just added a few new dial variations that takes things to another level and makes it a bit more original, which is always nice. There's a black dial with a white chapter ring and a black dial with a turquoise ring that adds a welcome splash of contrasting colors. There's also a new white dial with green accents. I did almost go with this one, and I think you could see why. It hits hard and looks so darn fresh. This is another Mecha Quartz powered engine. On top is a slightly domed sapphire crystal. There's plenty of bright lume and solid protection with 200 meters of WR. The watch looks fantastic, wears super comfortably because of Watchdive's really solid and well-made steel bracelets, and the dimensions are just about perfect. 38 in diameter, 11.5 thick, and 47 in total length. The dial has been kept clean with just a little bit of text and the cool logo, letting the dial do the talking. Even though this watch is super affordable, the details and finishing is pretty darn wild. All in comes to only $96, and I have no clue how you get such a well-made watch for this price, but I'm not complaining. Switching things up quite a bit is a really awesome vintage-inspired chronograph from Farasute. This watch looks like it's from the past, and all 4 dial colors are gorgeous. There's 2 greens, a silver, and a blue. Each gives the watch a ton of character, and the details are impressive. The dial features different textures and finishing, helping with legibility and separate the different sections. The use of color throughout the dial is executed just right. Subtle enough to not look like it's trying too hard, but balanced so it has just the right amount of visual appeal. There's a sapphire crystal on top, a VK64 mecha quartz inside, and a beautifully polished case, with really interesting detailing on the sides. It not only looks awesome, but helps break things up, creating a lot of dimension. Even the pebbled leather strap has a signed clasp and an interesting shape to it. What separates a good watch from a great watch are the details, so it's nice to see all of them displayed on this Farasute. It's really quite a charming watch. The dimensions come in at 38 by 11.5 by 44.5, a lovely size for this style of watch. It's for sure not meant for swimming, but does have 30 meters of WR to help protect from just regular daily use. From the old school looking dial to the thin lugs and pump style pushers, this is one sweet looking chronograph that definitely has an elegant appearance but still leans a bit on the sporty side, making it versatile. The price is $123. Well, that's it for the watches today. Definitely let me know which was your favorite or if there's just one you didn't like at all. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.